please.
We're live.
Thank you. Welcome everyone to this planning meeting. Right. Do we have any apologies for absence, please?
No apologies have been received, but I can see that Councillor Smith is online. If you can confirm you can hear us, please, Councillor Smith.
Yeah, Councillor Smith present online.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, just before we begin, I would like to just say, to remind the long-term people and to make our new members aware that actually in this committee we don't have whips. It's not allowed to be whipped. You're going against what this committee is all about. We don't here represent our wards. We are supposed to represent our views, that what we think, and not discuss between ourselves. You can have regard to the comments of your colleagues, the whole committee, but it's not a whipping. It's a legal requirement that it's not whipped, okay? And it is important that we realise that we're not just here for our own residents, we're here for the whole community. I was going to quote something from the Constitution, but if you have a look at the planning, applicable planning things in the Constitution, you'll find that's the case. So please don't chat in the meeting. If you need to ask a question, ask a question. Thank you. Now then, minutes. Does anybody have any questions about the previous minutes, please? No? No questions. So I'll move that the minutes of the last meeting are a correct record. Is that seconded, please?
Happy to second.
Thank you, Councillor Collins. Does anyone want to make any comment on these minutes? No? Okay. All those in favour of? Thank you. That seems to be unanimous. Yeah, thank you very much. Declarations of interest. Members are asked to declare any disclosable pecuniary or affected interests in respect of any matter to be considered at this meeting. Any member with a disclosable pecuniary interest in a matter should withdraw from the meeting when the matter is under consideration and should notify the Democratic Services officer in attendance that they are withdrawing as they have such an interest. If the disclosable pecuniary interest is not entered in the register of members' interests, the monitoring officer must be notified of the interest within 28 days. Does anybody have any disclosable interests? No? Thank you very much. Any urgent items of business, please?
No, non-notified, Chair.
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. So the only item on our agenda following that is 13, the Linkway, Crowthorne, and I believe we have Kevin to present, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening. My name is Will Rendell and I will be presenting this item this evening. The application is for the erection of a part single-storey, part two-storey detached custom-built dwelling with an integral garage following the demolition of the existing dwelling. Since the application was submitted, amended plans have been received which have changed the footprint of the dwelling by relocating the rear element off the neighbouring boundary and changed the roof forms from flat to monopitch on the two-storey elements of the proposal. Members are directed to the supplementary report for updates on this application since the publishing of the committee report. The application is being reported to Planning Committee following the receipt of more than 5 objections. The site relates to a 2-storey dwelling that is set back approximately 25 metres from the street scene. The site has a number of trees and is covered by an area TPO. The local area is characterised by open plots and is located within the Edgecombe Park residential character area, settlement boundaries, and within 5 kilometres of the Thames Basin Heath Special Protection Area. Regarding planning considerations, given that the dwelling is located within defined settlement boundaries, the proposal is considered to be acceptable in principle. In terms of design, it is considered that whilst the proposed replacement dwelling has a modern design, the monopitch roofs help integrate the dwelling within the character area, given that pitch roofs are a common feature. In addition, it is considered that the dwelling will remain comfortably within its plot and will retain the existing separation distance from the street scene and neighbouring dwellings. In terms of residential amenity, it is not considered that the dwelling will result in any overbearing loss of light or privacy impact on neighbouring dwellings, given the separation distances from the boundaries. This is shown on the PowerPoint slide. Moreover, the dwelling will provide a good standard of amenity for occupants. A condition is recommended requiring the first floor side windows to be obscurely glazed and non-opening up to 1.7 metres above the finished floor level. As mentioned earlier, the site is located within an area TPO, which was served in 2024. Several trees are proposed to be removed to facilitate the proposal. The council's tree service was consulted and has no objection, subject to several conditions which are detailed within paragraph 9.31 of the report. These conditions include tree protection and replacement tree planting. Moving on to transport implications, the Highway Authority has no objection and has confirmed that the proposal provides adequate parking space. In terms of sustainability, an air source heat pump is proposed, which Environmental Health have concluded would likely be permitted development. Regarding flood risk, the lead local flood authority have noted that the site has very low risk of surface water flood risk, and as such, a sequential test is not required. However, they have noted that the rear of the site is at risk of fluvial flooding, but has raised no objection to the proposal, stating that the built form would not encroach onto this area. The tree service has also confirmed that the removal of trees would not adversely impact flood risk. In terms of biodiversity, the Council's Biodiversity Officer has no objection, subject to ecological measures being carried out in line with submitted information. Regarding biodiversity net gain, the planning agent has confirmed that the dwelling would be custom built and as such would be exempt from biodiversity net gain. A condition and a Section 106 agreement are recommended to ensure that this is the case. The proposal would also provide a good level of accessibility, subject to recommended condition, as well as no impact on archaeology. In terms of representations, Crowthorne Parish Council have recommended approval, 8 letters of objection have been received, 1 letter of support has been received, and 1 letter neither objecting nor supporting the proposal has been received, 1 address. These representations are detailed in Section 6 of the report. The application is recommended for approval, subject to conditions set out in Section 11 of the report, as amended by the supplementary report, and the completion of a legal agreement. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Apologies, just want to make one correction. I mentioned there'd be a condition for the Section 106 matters. It would just be a legal agreement, there wouldn't be a condition in there.
Okay, thank you very much. It's good to clarify. Questions for the officer, please. Councillor Virgo.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Will, did you think about hours of construction? I noticed that the neighbours are all a bit worried. Do you think it would be a good idea to put hours of construction on it?
Through you, Chair, there is no recommended condition for hours of construction. This would be, if there were concerns during construction, this would be
It's too late,
managed
isn't it?
by Environmental Health.
Thank you. Do you have a follow-up?
Well, only that I think I can't do it in the question, but I think we should just put hours of construction because it's near neighbours and it's too late once they start construction. Don't you?
Okay, but there are standard hours, aren't there?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to comment, Assistant?
Through you, Chair. Yes, the case officer and I discussed this previously. If it's a significant concern to committee members, we do feel that it would not be unreasonable to put that condition on it. We generally don't recommend it
No.
in relation to single dwellings, but if it was a particular concern in this area, then it wouldn't be an unreasonable condition to impose.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Is that okay?
It's fine. I presume we can suggest that then later in the meeting. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you. Councillor Collins.
Thank you. There are an excellent range of biodiversity enhancements identified in the proposed site plan, and I can see that condition 14 has been amended to ensure that they are actually implemented. There are also PV panels shown on that site plan. Do we have any way of ensuring that those will be delivered too?
For you, Chair. So as a be part of the approved plans, they should be constructed as part of the proposal if the application is approved.
All right, thank you. So I assume it doesn't need an additional condition.
Through you, Chair. In terms of we can impose only conditions that are reasonable. In this instance, we don't have a local plan policy that requires the PV cells to be provided, and therefore it wouldn't be reasonable for us to have a separate condition requiring that. However, it has been proposed as part of the development, and as the case officer says, it would be secured underneath the approved plans condition.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Temperton.
Yeah, it all seems to be quite really good as far as sustainability is concerned. And if we don't have those, is it possible to make sure that all the construction and everything else is agreed with those plans? And is that in the local plan? Once that's in, we have the power to enforce those construction materials and the way it's being put forward to ensure that it is as sustainable as the original plan suggests.
Assistant Director.
Yes, through you, Chair. The planning permission relates to the plans that are indicated in the final decision notice, which is obviously as indicated in condition 2. So yes, if there was any kind of deviation away from those plans, then it would be something that we could consider the expediency of taking enforcement action.
Thank you. Any other questions, please? I was going to, yes, perhaps I will, ask about the risk of flooding, because that was a major concern for the residents around them. But it seemed to us when we were at the site visit, I think those that I spoke to anyway, that part of the garden would get soggy, but there didn't seem to be a great risk of huge flood. Could you?
Yeah, through you, Chair. So, yeah, the Leeds Local Flood Authority have no objection to the proposal, and they have also recommended a condition which we've also recommended. So that's condition number 15, saying no development should take place until a flood resilient construction scheme is put forward.
That's great, thank you. That should reassure our residents. Any other questions? Gosh, it's gone quite quiet. Okay, thank you very much. And now debate time. I propose that this item is accepted. We recommend take the recommendation of the officer. Do you have a seconder, please? Councillor Collins will second. Thank you.
I'm happy to second, thank you.
Thank you very much. Comments, please. Councillor Mackenzie Boyle, please.
Thank you, Chair. I was gratified that a good number of the committee went to the site visit on Saturday. It was a lovely day anyway. And the officer was giving some very, very good insights. Margaret is a very good officer, so we ought to be very thankful for her being on site that day. I think a number of issues have been allayed. We've heard that the risk is going to be a bit soggy, but it's not going to be flooding. And we know that there are a number of green ways of working, that they've got a heat pump, that sort of thing, so I'm very happy with that way. One thing I did notice, there was a clump of English bluebells. One bluebell is £1,000 if it was dug up. But that was noted and that's going to be preserved. And I'm really happy that the applicant will be preserving that area. So, frankly, there is nothing we could do if we wanted to. This is going to be, bearing in mind, it's an eclectic way of housing along Linkway. Opposite is the bungalow. Next door are two different houses. And a little bit further on, we go into Wokingham Borough anyway. So it's beyond our control. So I am very happy to support this application, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Could you switch off your microphone, please?
Sorry.
Thank you. Councillor Virgo?
Madam Chair, I think the design is rather cool, personally, but I don't know if I can say that, but I think it's rather good and it's to be commended. All I would say is if we could have reasonable, not overly strenuous control of hours, but reasonable hours, I think that would help the neighbours and give them some confidence.
Do we at this moment propose an amendment or a bit later to add the condition?
Yeah,
please.
at any point during debate, any member is welcome to move an amendment. So,
I'll move the amendment. I think this should be. I think it's 8:30 to 6, isn't it? Help and
Can you help us?
morning Saturday and then no work on Sunday. Usual, isn't it?
No winter.
And bank holidays. Councillor Penfold?
I was really just going to say I was very impressed with the design. I was very impressed with the means they'd taken. They were hoping to take to preserve the trees, tree roots, etc. And providing they do abide by conditions of buildings that have been suggested, I'm very happy with it.
That's lovely, but we're just dealing with the amendment for the hours of work. That's all right. Just need a seconder. Councillor Temperton will second.
Happy to second that. I think it's important.
Thank you. Yeah. Does anyone have any other thing to say about the hours of work? I think we're all quite happy with that suggestion. All those in favour of the amendment?
that's unanimous, Chair.
Thank you very much. How do we work now? We just go back to the original, yeah. Okay. Councillor Temperton.
I thought this was it's quite an exciting development, I think, the house structure and everything, and it's different, but then as you drive around that area, there's been many extensions to other places which have changed from the original build. I think it was all done in 76 or something, around that time, and the original builds have been added to and the windows have been changed and everybody's got different, and then further along the road there's a block of flats with a flat roof. So I think this is in keeping And I think with it's quite a long way back from the main road, or the site, the road there, and the trees and everything means that it's not overlooked all around. So I'm very happy with the report on how the trees are going to be looked after and preserved during the building is so detailed that I think it needs some commendation on that, really, because it's and the enforcement that will go on to make sure that is. I think the site will be preserved in the condition that it is really now, which is quite wild and wonderful.
Thank you. Councillor Collins.
I can only agree with what everyone else has said. The biodiversity enhancements, I think, were very comprehensive. Particularly, I like the wet meadow and the green roof that's proposed. I know neighbours were concerned about being overlooked, but I can see there are conditions with obscure glass, so I don't think that's a problem, and there are trees on the boundary which screen as well. There was also concern about the heat pumps being noisy from some of the residents, but I can see there's an informative, and if a larger heat pump is installed, they will have to apply for planning permission. So I'm happy to support it as well. I agree. I thought it was a very good application.
Thank you very much. Anyone else like to comment or raise anything? No. Right, I think it's time to take that vote. All those in favour of accepting the recommendation?
That's unanimous, Chair, so the motion is carried.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, that was astonishingly quick too. Unless anyone has anything else, that's the end of our meeting for today. Excuse me, whose phone is that? It's £20 for the Mayor's charity. Don't tell